The sun had barely begun its descent when Daniel Foster woke up with a start, gasping for breath. The dream had come again, vivid, relentless, yet just beyond the reach of his memory. It was always the same, a pair of hauntingly familiar brown eyes staring at him through the mist, a whisper in the wind calling his name, and then, nothing. Daniel had no recollection of his past beyond the last 2 years. A car accident had stolen his memory, leaving him with nothing but a name, a few hazy flashbacks, and an inexplicable ache in his heart. Something, or someone, was missing from his life. And then, one day, he found a photograph hidden in the lining of his old leather jacket. It was worn and creased, as if someone had held onto it for a long time. In it, he stood beside a woman with dark, wavy hair, her laughter frozen in time. On the back, in delicate handwriting, were the words, "Yesterday is waiting for you, my love. Find me before it's too late." Daniel couldn't shake the feeling that this woman held the key to his past, and his heart. He traced the photo to a small bookstore in Charleston, where an elderly shopkeeper recognized it immediately. "You don't remember, do you?" the old man asked, studying him with sorrowful eyes. "You used to come here every Sunday with her. You'd sit in the back and read poetry to her like the world didn't exist." Daniel's pulse quickened. "Who is she?" "Her name is Eleanor. And if she's still waiting for you, then you're the luckiest man alive." The name sent a shiver through him. It felt familiar, like a half-forgotten melody. But before Daniel could ask more, the old man leaned in and whispered, "If you're looking for Eleanor, start at the train station. That's where she last waited for you." The Charleston train station was bustling, but Daniel's heart pounded as he scanned the crowd, half expecting Eleanor to appear as if time had never moved. He approached the ticket counter. "Excuse me, do you know an Eleanor?" "Daniel." The voice sent a jolt through him. He turned sharply. There she was. Eleanor. Her hair was shorter than in the photograph, but her eyes, those deep, brown eyes, were exactly the same. They widened with shock, then filled with tears. "You came back," she whispered. Daniel felt frozen. Something inside him screamed that this was where he was meant to be. But when he opened his mouth, no words came out. Then Eleanor did something unexpected. She reached into her purse, pulled out a folded letter, and pressed it into his hands. "Before you say anything, read this. It's the only thing that matters." She turned and walked away. Daniel's hands trembled as he unfolded the letter. "Daniel, if you're reading this, it means fate has given us another chance. But before we begin again, you need to know the truth. You promised me something 2 years ago, and you broke it. Find me when you remember." The world tilted. What had he promised her? What had he done? Daniel refused to let Eleanor slip away again. He followed her through the city, retracing steps that felt both foreign and familiar. He visited places that sparked half-memories, an old cafe where the scent of cinnamon made his heart ache, a quiet park where echoes of laughter danced on the breeze. But it wasn't until he stepped onto the dock by the river that the memory came rushing back. It hit him like a storm, Eleanor standing there in the rain, tears streaming down her face. "You promised me, Daniel. You promised you'd come back." And he hadn't. Daniel ran back to the train station, praying he wasn't too late. He found Eleanor on the platform, just as a train's whistle blew. "You remember, don't you?" she said softly. "I do," he whispered. "I promised I'd meet you here, 2 years ago. But I never came." Eleanor's lips trembled. "You don't know how long I waited. I lost my memory," he confessed. "I didn't know who I was. But even then, I felt something missing. It was you, Eleanor. It was always you." She searched his eyes, looking for the truth. And then, finally, she stepped forward and rested her forehead against his. "You're late, Daniel," she murmured. "But yesterday has been waiting." And as the train pulled away, Daniel kissed her, vowing never to lose her again. Yesterday was gone, but love had found its way back.